Before we get into today's video, if you're new, you like the NBA, high school, college, really any level of basketball, and you just happen not to be subscribed to this channel, and I really do think you would like this channel, feel free to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. Also, please feel free to leave a comment below. The more comments I have, the more YouTube will show my video, recommend my video. The more interaction, the more it gets recommended. You guys get that probably by now. That's how the algorithm works. But with that being said, let's talk about one of the more exciting prospects for the 2021 NBA draft, Brandon Boston Jr., or you may know him as BJ Boston. Brandon Boston is a 6'6", 175-pound shooting guard prospect. He played senior year at Sierra Canyon, obviously. You probably saw him on national TV a lot because they gave Sierra Canyon a lot of national TV games, and they were playing all over the place. Apparently, I read something where they actually traveled more miles than, some NBA teams this year, which is insane. And it was clear to me whenever you watch Sierra Canyon play, despite the names that were really being used to promote them, Brandon Boston Jr. was easily the best player on that team. On a team full of guys who have NBA potential, mind you. So that really goes to show how gifted of a player he is. As of right now, he sits at number 6 on my big board. He probably will move up, honestly. I know I don't usually like to move people up as early as I do, but after watching a lot of the tape, I think he probably would move up if I were to make another big board. But, that's besides the point. He's an elite prospect. He, in my opinion, might even be the best scorer in this draft. If we're talking about guys in the ability to score the basketball, he might be the best of the bunch. I think it's close between him and Jalen Green personally. But he has a natural feel for the game, which is honestly something you really just can't teach. And he's a 3-level scorer. He can score attacking the rim, he can score from the mid-range, and he can really score from 3-point range. Not just high school and college 3-point line. He has serious NBA range already. When you watch him play, he was comfortably taking NBA range 3-pointers. And, that's a good sign because some players, it takes time for them to adjust to that. And if a player that's ready for the NBA 3 this early, I think that's a good sign for a player like him. Great shot creator, creates for himself well both on the ball and off the ball, can create off the bounce, can score cutting, coming off screens, things like that. He can do it all as a scorer. Now, like a lot of young players though, he does struggle with shot selection. And I think that probably is his biggest weakness right now, is shot selection. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he can hit a lot of great shots. And he can create for himself off the dribble so well. And he can hit all these shots. And I think that because he knows he can hit them, he goes to it way too much instead of looking for the right play. This is something that I think will be fixable over time. This is something that I've seen a lot of young players struggle with early on, and then they've gone on to be great. So I do think that is something that will improve over time. It's just, it is a problem now. And the other thing is his weight. He weighs 175 pounds. There are point guards in this class that aren't named Cade Cunningham that weigh more than him. He does need to improve on his weight. He will need to add strength. I have no doubts he will. Seems to have a good work ethic. And honestly, Kentucky, an NBA factory, where he's going to be playing next year, I think that they'll do their best to get his weight up to what it needs to be. Ideally, I think for the NBA, he will probably need to be around 190 to 200 pounds. I think that will be more than enough for a shooting guard prospect. But, it is something he needs to work on. But don't get it twisted. Just because he needs to improve on his strength does not mean he's a tough player. He is really good defensively for a player his age. Has his mental lapses, obviously. Isn't engaged all the time. Isn't disciplined all the time. But for a player of his size and his strength, he's a really good defender. And once he adds size and strength, and once he fills out his frame, I think he can defend multiple positions. I think that's just something that will be a big part of his game. It's a player that has a good motor and has good defensive potential with his athleticism. With those long arms, he has a massive wingspan. And once he had strength, I just think he'll be a really good defender. I think he's already a good defender. I think he'll be a great defender once he adds that weight to his frame. And he's a really good rebounder for his size as well, and his position. Many times, watching him at Hoop Hall, watching him even against schools like Minnehaha, and again, all over the country when he was on all these national TV games because of Sierra Canyon, you just saw he was a really good rebounder. He was an effective offensive rebounder and an effective defensive rebounder. And this is something that I believe is just part of his DNA. His ability to be tough, his ability to attack, and his ability not to let his size, stop him from trying to do things. Even if, sometimes he gets bullied or sometimes he gets pushed around, I think that mentality of, him knowing he's probably going to get pushed around and knowing he's gonna need to add weight and he's gonna struggle sometimes against bigger defenders, but he still doesn't, shy away from attacking and grabbing rebounds and trying to defend. I think that's just something you can't teach a prospect, and it's something that will go a long way. It's a guy, and the thing is, he isn't necessarily a playmaker by any means, and he's not a great all-around player, but he's a great scorer. He has a great mindset defensively, has a great mindset playing basketball all around, and I think that why I like him so much is basically going on my belief that you take a prospect that has a lot of skills and a lot of things that you can't teach, like toughness, ability to be engaged all the time, things like that, and they have a lot of skills. You really can't pass like that. If Brandon Boston Jr. was in this year's draft class, 2020, he'd be the consensus first overall pick in my opinion, because I think he's going to have a better season at Kentucky than any one of these freshmen from this year had. That's just my personal opinion. I also believe that he's more skilled than a lot of people in this class. And I also believe that if he was in 2020, again, he would be the consensus first overall pick. Now, I've seen a lot of Brandon Ingram comparisons. Do I agree with those comparisons? Yeah, I actually do. I think that they have somewhat similar of that mentality. Not a lot. I know they're both great scorers coming out of high school. I think they're both going to have similar seasons at college. I think Brandon Boston Jr. will have a similar season to what Brandon Ingram had at Duke. I think Boston will be able to do that at Kentucky. Yeah, but I think what I see from both of them is, they both are slight. They both aren't the biggest. Ingram was around the same size as Brandon Boston Jr. was coming out of high school, when they were going to college. But despite the lack of size, and they're gonna get pushed around a bit because they need to add a lot of weight or add some weight to handle physicality and things like that, they don't let that affect their mentality of attacking. And it does lead to bad shots sometimes, and I saw it with Ingram, and I see it with Boston as well. But that mentality of not being afraid to attack a bigger defender, or not being afraid to defend and things like that, that can take a player a long way. And I have no doubts that Brandon Boston Jr. will add weight. I have no doubts about that, really. And if he wasn't in such a loaded class in 2021, I think he would be a consensus top 3 pick in most other years. And I think he would be a consensus number 1 pick in certain years, like, this year, 2020. So, again, I think he is a special prospect. There were a lot of special prospects in the 2021 class. You'll hear me say this a lot. There are just a lot of guys who would be consensus top 3, consensus number 1 guys in other U's that are like outside of the top 10, or maybe not top 10, top 5, let's say. And there are some that would be outside of the top 10 that would be top 5 in other U's. So this class is just really special, and Brandon Boston Jr. is one of the best players in this class. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It means so much to me, guys. You guys don't understand. But again, thank you. Like and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to leave feedback in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.